Like, nope, not happening. My favorite part of the whole night was at the very end. After...
Wait, shit, are we live?
Yeah, we should be. Yeah, okay. We're live.
All right, okay, that's fine. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, why do I have you? Oh, that's why. There we go. There's a buns. My favorite part of the whole night was after everything had ended. And Marcia was like, do you want to do the after game interviews? I'm like, I don't think I can do this. It's been a long night. And then he's like, Boots and Baked are in there. And I just jumped in.
Wait, for what?
For after all of Saturday.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, for sure they were. Kind of a mix of different games too, which was nice. It wasn't super, as we would like to call meta. Yeah. The Windwalker dream. Yeah. I think that I was like semi disappointed that like the stream didn't realize it and make a big deal about it, because like they didn't. I went back and watched it and they didn't like realize until like it was like in the mid fight, because like we totally like I was sitting there and I'm like, okay, Saxon, remove people off your list. Like you're gonna go. You're gonna play Windwalker.
I got a re-add after the cup.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, remove people off your list. You're gonna play Windwalker and join the game when I tell you to. Like I literally joined the game with like 15 seconds left.
That was because Rise and I were in Skype chats between doing the interviews and stuff, and we were watching your game. And what was the other game going on at the time? Was that Flock Story show, or was that another one?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
So like we were kind of going back and forth and shit, and it's like, fuck. Did someone just throw a fist of fury? What's going on right now?
Yeah.
And then I saw them like, I'm looking for frogs and beans. I'm like, well then who the hell is HB going to have FC? Then like, huh.
Yeah. No, there was a plan. There was a plan. It was all set.
I liked it too.
I still stand by that. I think that it's better, to be honest with you. We just we had some issues, and we can maybe save that for the cast. To be honest, it was actually pretty unfortunate. To be honest with you,
it seems like the unfortunate was unfortunately the name of the series for a few teams, and whether or not those unfortunate things could have been avoidable is also something we should probably touch on.
Oh, did you have your juicy jams of the week, yo?
Did not even think about it until you said it right there.
Damn. Mine was inspired. I got Yep. I got a good track.
Oh, you know what? I think I just got one. All right, guys. Stream, give me a minute. I need to switch over to the Velvet mic, and we'll be ready to go. You go to that, Buns?
Sounds good, man.
Sure.
What is mystery solved? Okay. I don't know why UB. UB looks great. Don't hate. Hey, what's up, Delayed? How's it going, man? How's it hanging, dude? My volume's okay. Let's double check something. Okay, good. Squidgy, Diddle, what's going on, guys? How's it going? About to get going here. Just pre-casting right now. Ahoy, Twink. Good volume. Volume is fine. Okay, sweet. Hey, Ganker, how's it going, dude? Damn, that's so fucked.
What?
I just realized I gotta take down the Twink Cup prize pool thing on my stream.
Yeah, and I gotta take out the what is the Twink Cup shit. God. It's over already, Buns!
Wait, did I just fuck something up?
Probably. Guys, I was just about to say, good shit, Wapo. Want to make sure we were both sound and kosher.
Hey, what's up, Chris McBrien? What's up, mate?
Who is Chris McBrien? I mean, I see that's Skeezin, but is that some reference that I don't understand?
I don't know.
Skeezin, is that something a soccer dad would not get? Is that like teach me how to doogie or dougie or whatever it's called?
I don't even. I'm not sure what that means.
How's the sound, Rise? Good?
You know what I also thought was a cool idea? That thing. I think I maybe even saw you post on the thread. The thread that Kaz made. I don't even know who that is.
Oh yeah, the Twink Cup All-Star team. Like the All-Cup team. I think that's a great idea. It just
maybe we can maybe we can do that. I don't know.
We'll see how we go today.
Yeah, let's see where we go.
Yeah. Because I'm not sure I could even provide enough insight yet. I still have to catch up with Sunday's games because I can't stay awake that late. I'm sorry. Alright, I guess... Oh, wait, let me get some Nightbot shit set up. Because we have some giveaways to do today.
Yes. How do you want to handle that? We got two as well.
Yeah, we have two. One is being given away by Guapo in chat, and the other is being given away by Dids. Really, Rise?
You be your mic.
Nicozy, this is supposed to be the good bike. That hurts my feelings.
You sound good for me, Yubi. Is your on your OBS? Is your did you spike your mic volume up?
Oh, it needs to be higher?
No, I'm asking if you did make it higher.
No, I'm actually turning it down because Rai said it was pretty hot.
Okay. I need to make you louder now, for me.
Does that sound better, guys?
It's not sound bad for me once, so that's interesting that's coming off that way on stream.
I think maybe it's just because Nicozy's in Sweden. Nah, Nicozy is the good guy. I can't...
And OBS?
No.
Oh, okay.
Alright, it should even out. It's the same one I've been using for everything. Still too high. Fuck. Alright, let me put it down a little bit more. Alright, what about now, guys? Is it good? Alright, well, if no one has any objections, I'd like to get started, Buns. You alright with that?
I was taking a listen myself. I'm giving it a listen. I'm just 30 seconds behind. It's a little bit... How do I explain it? It's a little bit like spiky. It's like, it feels like you're picking up a lot. So like, so probably like when you're at the top, when you're at the peak of whatever you're saying, it like sounds like shit.
Alright, well let's
Maybe even just turn your mic volume down a little bit under sound or something.
Yeah, it's alright. It's down. It's usually up all the way, but I turned it down quite a bit at this point.
Okay. Let's just go with it. You sound good for me.
Alright, let's... This is going to be actually kind of ironic that now we're having issues, and a lot of what I'm going to be talking about are other people that had issues, but... No, Rise, I haven't changed any settings. Yeah, Conk. Lots of issues.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Last check. Is that good? Or should I go back to the terrible headset? All right. Check.
Sounds good for me either way.
All right.
So.
Sketch, if you're saying it's good, you're one of my shout-outs today, so we're going to go with that. It's good. Alright, I think people are just being hypersensitive. So we're going to just go with it being good. Alright, Buns!
Hey-yo!
It is episode 104 of 15 Minutes with HB.
Divide that by 2, and what do you get?
You get 2 years.
52.
And this is Yubi, and I'm here with...
The Buns. What's up, guys? Coming in at 104, marking in at the 2-year. Big shout out to the fans that have followed us this far and everyone that enjoys the cast. Hope you guys are having a good time, and those of you guys in stream, it's awesome to have you guys here.
And we got some stuff to talk about, and a lot of it's Twink Cup related. But before we get into the Twink Cup stuff, we have our things we gotta do. And the first one is shout-outs. I don't want to get into necessarily Twink Cup related shout-outs yet, Buns, because I'd like to kind of have that be part of the core of the cast.
Okay.
So...
Okay. Alright, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough.
My shout-out is going to go to Sketchbag, who was kind enough to include me as part of the whole Meet the Twinks thing. I appreciate it.
Good interview, once again.
Yeah.
I was able to read it.
It was way more difficult than I thought to freaking talk about yourself.
Yeah.
But I had fun spending time to answer the questions. It actually ended up with me just sitting down and going into almost a fugue state. Just be like, boom! There we go. Which is the reason you're going to see a lot of typos and such. But it's on TI if anyone wants to read it, and I appreciate the kind words people have had in response to it. So there's my shout-out, Buns. What would be yours?
Well, this is Twink Cup related, but I wasn't going to say it in the meat of the podcast anyway, so I'm just going to give... God, I got like a summer cold going on, so hang in with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give a shout-out to Harvest, yo. I'm going to give a shout-out to my team. I had a good time playing with everyone. Much love for everyone in Harvest, so big shout-out to the team. I had a great time playing.
I think we could sneak that in up ahead of time. That's worthy.
It better be worthy. What the hell you be? Don't question what's worthy. That's my team you're talking about, bro.
All right, and we are going to be having 2 giveaways on this podcast. I don't know which one's going to go first, but one of which will be either a full BOE/enchant, a Mistweaver, or Windwalker set on Bleeding Hollow Alliance, and the other will be a green lens. And apparently Rise has been hoarding these since, I don't know, the dawn of frickin' time, because he has so freaking many. Alright, Dids is saying the audio is still jacked, which actually concerns me that if it's still messed, because there is no reason that it should be.
Alright, I would just get on your other mic, though. Let's just get on your other mic and, like...
Yeah, alright, let me switch it up.
Let's start from the top.
Yeah, brief interlude.
I don't know what it is, actually. I was listening to it, too. It just sounds distorted. Sounds very distorted. Bum, ba-na-na-na, bum, ba-na-na-na.
Alright, how does that sound, guys? Is that better? Huh, I wonder what the hell caused that. That's so weird. Alright, well, that's something we'll figure out. Yeah, I don't know if anyone ever wants to hear that again. I can go through and put an edit point in there. That's not a problem. Alright, we'll go ahead then.
And my buddy, Yubi, coming at you live. And if you divide 104 by 2, you know what it is, folks.
I believe that's the 2-year mark.
Coming in with the 2-year marker. So big shout out to everyone that's enjoyed the cast and has come along on our adventure this far. And thanks to everyone in stream who can be here. Big shout out to everyone.
Wait, you guys are saying you can't hear HB now. I feel like I'm Giga Snail right at this point.
Oh my.
No, I think people could hear. All right, let's just go ahead after the whole thing. I'll just do the cut mark. Let's get in. We did the shout-outs.
Okay.
We're going to be having some giveaways. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do it. It's going to be Nightbot related, though. That is faux show. And we'll, I guess, pepper those into the cast. And I want to let's just get into the Twink Cup ones. I kind of want to start with what I saw is the 2 most glaring issues with the cup. And then I want to end it with the positives. Because like I was telling other people, like it's not how you start, it's how you end. And I think kind of how everything got pulled together, regardless of your thoughts at the end, there's a whole lot that went on behind the scenes I'm not sure people are really aware of. So the first of those I want to bring up is communication. Now, I know that there was some contention about Gamers League being brought into the podcast, into the Twink Cup. And this is where I have to eat some fucking crow, because I thought it would be a good idea. I thought bringing in a professional organization to help show us how to run, which, I mean, if you think about it, was for all intents and purposes a professional tournament when you have $7,000 on the line.
Oh, absolutely.
Would be a huge advantage to us.
Not only in the sense of, well, hey, we discussed this for a while, but, you know, not only in the sense of publicity and professionalism and being able to, you know, have a really great production for the actual stream. But we did know coming into this, I mean, we had a lot of talks, especially on the cast, anyone that's followed it. We were expecting those things to be hit, and we were expecting other things to be missed. So when the batter struck out, that was when there was a problem.
Dude, let's not even say struck out. That dude didn't even know how to walk to the plate. I mean, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah.
And it would be one thing if it seemed like he put in some time and some effort, but it was so wildly apparent that dude did nothing. And by nothing, this is the one part that really, out of everything, sticks out in my head. This isn't an exact quote, but it is pretty goddamn close. When the arena spectator add-on wouldn't work, and then there were different, possible solutions coming in, one of which was to turn off your experience. Dude goes, you 19s are hardcore, you have to turn off your experience. Or something very close to that effect. Even if you are a casual bystander and aware of what twinking is, you realize that it's now XP off, and you have to turn off your experience. For someone who is going to kick off the Twink Cup from this professional organization that Merm trusted to be, I don't know, Buns, what's the word I'm looking for? Professional? To not even be aware of this it's gross. It's embarrassing. I do not have enough adjectives, and I don't even think I can properly contextualize how I felt watching that. It was insane. And then, to make matters worse, it's all of this, right? We think the Gamers League is going to be Stream 1. They're going to be the meat and potatoes of this event. That's what they were brought on to be.
Yep. Absolutely, I agree.
And then for them to say 2 days before, oh, yeah, you know what, I think we're going to do a game or two. And for the first one of those game or twos they want to do, to just not even know where the ball is. Forget dropping it. They never had the opportunity to pick it up. And then it left you and Nkosi sitting there having to fill in all of this time. Like, what if you guys weren't there? For everyone listening to this, think about this. And everyone that was watching, think about this. If you guys weren't there to at least just talk and say something regarding the Twink Cup, what would that stream have been for, 45 minutes until the dude that was bragging about he couldn't be DDoSed got DDoSed?
And we had a really, really thorough back-and-forth conversation going. Very, Oh, I guess I missed that one. Whoop. I guess going off of that, it was pretty much... I missed the irony there, I guess, but it almost seemed like he was very unresponsive and did not care at all what me and Nick were saying. No. So maybe I missed the ball on that one. I felt like I really didn't, but I just...
No, I think... No, what I guess maybe I didn't say right, or maybe I'm misunderstanding what you're saying. I'm saying what you and Nkosi did was save the fucking day.
Oh, absolutely, and I agree with that. And I'm not even trying to sound cocky.
You should. It's a straight up fact.
I agree with that, but I don't know, man. Like, I guess without like going over too many boundaries for me, I'll tell you my experience. So me and Nick, about 2.5 hours before we were about to get going, we were already like getting in a call with Pusm or whatever, the head organizer for Gamers League for the tournament. To put it in perspective, that's the only person on that entire staff that I have reasonable respect for. So going off of that, we're in a call with her and Merm, and me, Nick, Merm, and her. In a call, starting to get ready, getting cameras going, checking mic levels, getting an idea for what's going to go on. Gigasnail was supposed to join the call. He joined for like 5 minutes, and then went back to his RPGs and said that this was like a cute tournament, etc. Like it was a joke. So then 5 minutes before we're supposed to go, he finally shows up. He's been drinking, not showing up, like lost. And you have myself, Nick, and Merm, and I guess Posum, if she wants to admit to it, that could all speak on this. So it was a joke. Joins the call. So unprofessional. Doesn't know what he's talking about the meta. Doesn't know 19s. Doesn't.
God! What about when he was like? It seems like
joke.
it takes a long time for guys to get openers in this bracket.
Yeah, no, it was a joke.
He was like, yeah, it takes like 4 minutes or something. Like, okay. Oh, fucking K. What?
And I got like 4 words to say. I told you so. I told you so. This was going to happen. They were going to fail because they didn't understand the meta. They didn't understand the community. They didn't care that much. They took it as a side project. It was just publicity for them as much as it was for us, but they failed on all levels where we could have benefited from their services. We should have done the community stream. Merm acknowledges that now. Very much so. And considering that there were ups and downs, after that happened, I just got in a call with... Okay, first off, here's probably the funniest thing of them all. So Gigasnail got hit offline. That's why the stream went down.
Yeah, it was the only instance of a good DDoS in the history of gaming.
And I was sitting there, I'm like, oh my god, did I just go offline? Because I'm going to, like, cry. And then, like, I called Nick, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it wasn't us. Stream's down. They got hit offline? What? I thought we were supposed to be promoting thoughts.net. Like, what? Hello? So then we were all... So then I was like, okay. I called Merm, and I'm like, this is a joke. Let me run the stream. Like, let's just go. Like, and he's like, yep, done. Do it. Because you have to understand that Merm was also in this call the entire time and saw how much of a joke it was. It was a joke. It was a joke. That's what it was. So, given that Friday, it took a little bit to pick up. We got the ball rolling. Saturday, I think, went great. I think Saturday was phenomenal.
Saturday was
And then
fun.
Sunday would have been good, and it would have gone smoothly. But that starts getting out of reach of how the stream was ran and more of how the tournament
And that's something we'll be getting into shortly, I suppose.
Yeah. So, I guess something that me and you agreed that we wanted to cover here is that first off, I'm going to say it again, should have had a community stream, and it should be a community stream going forward. I will just say right now, I will not get involved with Gamers League ever again.
I don't think...
Stamp it, like, for anything. For upcoming Twink Cup, for upcoming NWL, for upcoming tournaments, will not. You can just count me out. I will not talk to. I won't do it. So if you want my help, don't get involved with them, because that was a joke.
I am honestly shocked after that performance that anyone is involved with them. And I don't say that lightly. I mean, for you guys that saw it on Friday, how poor that was, it's actually more intense than that. What they did was basically put the fact for the Twink Cup, I mean, it still could have occurred. The games could still be played. But the ability for anyone to view it, Gamers League basically said, it's not that big a deal. We don't care if anyone can see it or not. And they did that 2 days beforehand. 2 days. And then it was left to...
Yeah, carry on. Keep going. You got this.
And that's when I got, like, you know, the A-bomb tweet. That's when the community started coming together. And this is where I think kind of a weird sort of benefit came from this. In that what we wanted from the Gamers League was to show us how to do things. Right?
Yeah.
They actually achieved that in a weird sense by showing us not only what not to do, but forcing us to figure out how to do it on the fly.
I agree. And going off of that, considering the fact that we literally picked up the stream as soon as it went down, I think the tournament went really well, stream and production-wise, for the community stream. I think it went really well. Considering the fact that we picked off as soon as the other stream went offline. And it was run by people that were playing in the tournament and that had to juggle not only playing and commentating and streaming, etc., but Also, leading teams, being on the cast, coming off a game, having to commentate a game, etc. Me personally, I was all over the place.
Mhm.
It was way too much for me to handle, and well, we'll get into that, but it was too much for me. But I wasn't gonna let 8 months pretty much go to waste, and I knew that if I didn't step up, no one else would.
And you did amazing, buddy. It's blows my mind. I forget, I was saying something to someone. It was like Gamers League broke what was built, and you somehow figured out how to glue those pieces back together. It's like the fish tank from Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo broke, and you somehow put it back together with some freaking old Elmer's glue. I mean, it was insane. And not only you, I mean, we need to give credit to the other people that I'm not sure the community at large really knows about. And
Absolutely.
How much work those people put in. I mean, Pat, I don't know how he did it. He ran Stream 1 the entire time.
Oh, you know what? I should just... Okay, so let me just... Yeah, I'm going to pick off where you're going.
Go.
Here. So, basically, I was like, all right. I was staying as far away from organizing this whole thing because at this point, I was like, I argued for months against Merm to not do this. I was the main person. I was like, this is a joke. I'm not doing this. Like, unbelievable. Like, I can't believe you're doing this. And, like, because of the lack of communication, which was one of the big issues about me and Merm, we're not on good terms, but we're on good terms now, just for update, like, on much better terms. Like, I have total respect for Merm, etc. It's just that the lack of communication made things frustrating at the time. So, after the point where I got in the call, I made sure that Merm was in the call with me and Nick, because I thought it was going to be a joke, and I was like, you need to be here. Like, you need to be here.
Yeah.
So he firsthand thought it was a joke. I picked it up. I'm like, okay, I'm going to run this. Like, we're going to go. So I stayed as far away from actually... I knew at some point if Gamers League was going to run it, I was going to come in for guest commentating, and that's fine. But I didn't want to be involved whatsoever other than that.
Well, you had a freaking team to run that was in the cup.
Well, absolutely. And it was not fun, by the way. If you're
Really?
asking me if I enjoyed doing all this, no, I did not.
Well, that's what I was like when we were...
If you think that I enjoyed sitting in there listening to SR rant about how great they felt at 5:30 in the morning after winning that, that's good and all, and I want everyone to be happy for winning, but it was 5:30 in the morning, and I'm from US, and there's people playing that had to stay up till 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. in the afternoon. It's just like... It was exhausting. That's really what it was. It was exhausting. I think it went... With all this said, I think it went a lot better than last year. But...
Well, each year is a learning experience, right?
Right. So, okay, getting back to the point. I totally sidetracked there, and I'm sorry. So, as soon as this happened, I went on Curse. I got as far away from Skype as I could. And I'm like, I'm going to get on Curse. I'm going to get people that I know that would help me out and get involved in this. So, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get... Nick, me and Nick cast the game, so like, I got Nick on board, got Muskie, got EPH, got Pizza involved, got Moran involved. Moran brought in Maniac. Merm got involved immediately. Got Pat Tasselhoff, who ran my stream for the entire tournament. Huge help, and a specific shout out to him too, because he's one of those guys that I really did not know how far they could go, and I was going off of people who I knew could help me with streaming or commentating, and that was it. And I was just pulling them in because that's what I needed at the time. I need people that I could count on for doing shit. I didn't really know what Pat could do, but I'm like, dude, I need you to do this. This is how we're gonna do it. I'm telling you how to do it. And he was like, you know what? Perfect. I'm like, dude, great. He did a great job. A great job. And minus the little blurb that happened in like one of the games in the finals where the screen was up for a little bit because of a delay, he did a great job. So I just want to get... in my mind, gets the biggest shout out for everyone that was behind the cast, because he ran my stream for the entire tournament, and that's really a lot to handle. And
there's also, let's not forget, the second stream too, because we did have 2 games going at a certain point.
Oh, absolutely. I didn't get to finish my shout outs.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay. No, Alex gets a massive shout out as well too, because the second day we had 2 streams running, and I literally was sitting there. So originally, so I have this whole call going. We got through day 1. It was pretty good. So day 2, we came in. I'm like, look, let's make this a little more scheduled, a little more organized, etc. We got Yubi and Rise who jumped in that did awesome interviews with people in the community. That was a lot of fun. Helped us fill time. And then I'm like, guys, we need a stream too. Like, I originally asked Moran, and Moran didn't want to, and that's totally understandable because he's playing in the tournament. So I'm like, okay, who do I know that could help me out big time that would be able to stream at this point in time? I'm like, well, I think that Alex could be able to help me out, and I think that I think it was going to work with scheduling with how everything looked on that day. So I was like, Alex, man, like, I don't have anyone right now, and if I don't get, if someone, I need you to step up for me, like, it's such a huge deal. And he immediately, like, no questions asked, man, like, he was totally on board. And Alex manned the second stream for the entire tournament, and it was that was probably, you know, that's a huge deal. That is a massive deal. And just, we were literally, I couldn't think of a name for, like, 15 minutes after Moran couldn't, and I was like, okay, well, I really gotta think, because I mean, it was like, there's no,
I mean, it got so bad at one
for
point,
worse, like, Alex stepped up for us.
We were going to give this stream out to somebody else and let them do it. I mean, that's how desperate it got at one point. So yeah, Alex, or for you guys, if you're not sure who we're speaking of, it's Win484 in chat, and I believe his Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Win484NN, if I'm not mistaken. If anyone wants to give him a subscribe, please do.
Yeah, absolutely. So that deserves a big shout out. I'm gonna give, let me keep thinking here. I actually have my curse open right now, so I'm gonna actually check, to be completely honest with you.
Well, let me give a shout out then while we're on people who stepped up that had no idea they had to step up, and I want to give it to Rise, who is Guapo. I hit him up, I think, what was it? Was it Thursday? Well, I was in the shop, and I'm like, all right, let me try and figure something out. And I'm like, Rise, how do you feel like doing some things for the Cup? He's like, book into the weekend, Saturday is free. And just jumped right in. And spent basically all of Saturday with me, watching games, jumping in. And this is another thing, too. I want to thank the people that were playing in games or that jumped in, like someone like Dids, who had been watching the games and were willing to come in and actually just help us talk about the Cup, give the people watching it some insight as to what was going on in between the games while other teams got set up. So I think that was a good thing, and I want to thank Rise, Dids, Pseudo, Mutando, Pita, Anatomies, Boots, Baked, everyone that jumped in there and was very flexible about it. I was talking to Haas, I'm like, I don't know when I'm going to need you, but I'm going to need you at some point. He's like, you just let me know when, I'll be there. And he's like, I have a few gillies that want to jump in, and I'm like, when we need to go, we need to go. Whoever you got, we got, let's do it. It all worked out. So thank you to everyone involved in that whole process.
A few more shout-outs I'm going to give to. iShape was one of those guys that came on board and really came in and helped us in the last stretch, because that day 3 was painful, because one of the biggest issues that we're going to talk about is that going into next year, the main people that are running the stream and the commentating, which is going to be done largely in advance, I'm saying it now, it will be done in advance, not the day of the tournament. It will be done months in advance. Wait, what? Okay, I'm forgetting here. No, but, okay, so day 3 was painful because we had so many commentators and people that stepped up for us in the moment. And day 3, a lot of these teams that everyone was playing on, you know, people commentating were playing on these teams that were playing day 3. So I was like, when the first set of games came up and it was like Harvest versus Ping and GSC versus Waka, I'm like, holy shit, like, who do we have to cast?
Like, what do we do?
Well, really, I mean, I could not cast. The Muskie and EPH couldn't cast. We were like short on cast. I knew SR was getting ready for the game. So a few other shout outs, you know. Nick obviously was with me at the start. Huge shout out to Nick too, just for helping us get the ball rolling, commentating games. iShape gets a big shout out as well too for coming through day 3. And he did a great job for us as well with Tassel. So those guys get a lot of credit. We were able to, day 3 was messy. Day 3 was messy in a way that I could not really control, to be completely honest with you.
That's going to move us into the next.
Day 3 was the tournament needed to be handled differently. And maybe we can, I think I got through all my shout-outs. I might give one more shout-out.
Did we give one to Muskie?
I did.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Muskie and EPH, total, yeah, big shout-out. I'm going to do one more shout-out. I'm going to say thank you for Merm realizing he was wrong and letting me run the stream.
And I think that...
And I'm not saying... I don't say that in a negative way, but it's just... It wouldn't have worked. If he didn't let me do it completely how it needed to be done, like how I wanted it to be done, like it wouldn't have worked. Because no one else was going to step up and do it. And no one else had the experience to step up and do it. Like, I know there's a lot of people that could have jumped up and been like, oh, I'll organize, etc. But you needed it to be me. And so thank you for letting me just take over and do it.
And before we move on, I also want to say yes to the thing with Merm. It's like he realized things, got it going, and put it in capable hands. But also I want to emphasize the fact that for next year's Twink Cup to be even more successful, one of the major points we need to learn from this is that there needs to be almost like a tree as far as communication goes. We say we have Merm at the head, right? Merm's not going to be able to answer every single question at every single second of every single day that someone has it. There needs to be people below Merm that can field these questions and have the autonomy and authority to answer them. So it's like, oh, can't get a hold of Merm? Oh, that's fine. I will go to person X. I will go to person Y. I will be able to get the information I need and trust that this is accurate and reliable information. The second part is the people playing in games really... they can't be relied to be the streamers.
Absolutely not. Especially the streaming portion. It's one thing to have people that are playing come on and guest cast or, help out a little bit, but you're going to need your streamers to be not involved in the tournament. That's, like, one of the main reasons why I was like, Tassel, dude, like, you're the man. Like, thank you for stepping up. You were in a position where you could help, and you did everything I asked, so, like, thank you. But going into the future too, we can't even have the main casters be directly involved in the tournament. Sure, it's fine to bring on guest casters for a few games. I think people can manage that, but you can't have the people that are the foundation of running the tournament and the foundation of running the event be
the foundation of the teams playing in it. And also, I don't think it's a coincidence that people like, say, you, Moran, and Muskie were probably, the top 3 commentators, or the top 3 people willing to commentate, jump in, and do the games. I think there's something that comes from being a recognized and or respected member of the community that gives you the confidence or even the knowledge to cast the games. Because it's like you asked me, it's like, will you cast games? It's like, I have no problem coming in and interviewing people for however long, but I cannot cast the games. Like, I don't have that intricate knowledge of the different strategies. I don't know the different players well enough in order to do that effectively. I'm aware of that, and I will detract from the games from being there. So something between now and the next Twink Cup, I don't know exactly how you do this, but there almost needs to be, I don't know, let's say GG19 for shoutcasters. I don't know how you go about doing it, but it needs to happen.
I'm going to say something right off the bat, and I'm not trying to sound negative, but things need to be kept separate. And that's one of those things where, like, get a Twink Cup, like, it's got to be Twink Cup. It's got to be a team for the Twink Cup, and it's got to be people that are wanting to be involved solely for the Twink Cup and have it be based off of that. Because you got to have people that are coming in for the event specifically and are going to be prepared for that.
But wouldn't people need to have the experience in the bracket and say have experience casting?
That's the NWL. Then at that point.
Oh, yeah. Well,
No. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I do want to bring that point up that you got to get people. We've got a lot of projects and movements going on in 19s right now, and you got to start recognizing and dividing up what people can actually handle and what people are good at, because, like you said there, and I don't even think it was on purpose, but you just started like blending things together, and to me, that's going to be an issue. That already is becoming an issue, where we've got too many people biting off more that they can handle or more that they are unfamiliar with. So we've got to get people in the right places where they can have success, and I think that's one of the most important things going into if we want the NWL to be successful, if we want the next Twin Cup to be successful, if we want more programs in 19, like GG19, etc., being successful. Is people, it's a lot of responsibility just to tackle part of one of those projects.
Well, I guess you misunderstood what I meant by the GG19 shoutcast. It was just an easy base example to say GG19s funds the 19s have a similar thing, so that people that know how to cast maybe help other people learn how to cast, or at least have the opportunity to cast on some war games or some organized pre-mades so that they can get the experience. Because you can't expect people that have no experience or have no knowledge of the bracket. I mean, this is something you brought up, Jesus, I think the week before, where you were like, yeah, Desecration did one game. I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it. And I'm like, well, does he seem like he's going to put the time in, not put the time in? You're like, well, he's a capable caster, but he's not capable in the bracket.
Right.
And those are two things that they need to go together. You need to be capable in the bracket, and you need to be a capable caster. And both of those, it's not something you just figure out 5 minutes before things start, as Gigasnail proved. All right, so
absolutely.
Let's move from that into, I guess, from the communication stems the issues with the rules, I guess, because one of the issues was the rules was the lack of communication about them.
Yeah, and I think that, you know, why don't we talk about, first off, what we think should be implemented going into next year.
Okay.
And I'm going to talk about things that I think should be implemented, and also things that I've heard other people brought up that are interesting to talk about. So one thing that I think is that needs to be implemented going into next year, and that was shown multiple times through the tournament, is there's got to be like a 10-minute, at most, I think, timer between games.
Mm-hmm.
If you get into a game one, the intermission between game 1 and 2 can only be 10 minutes. If the other team's not ready to play, then the other team gets a win at that point. Because, oh my God, the finals should not have been going at 5 Central time, or 5 Central in the morning. I'm sorry, but I was annoyed with everyone at that point. Like, I didn't give a shit. Like, I just wanted to get it over with. Like, I was so crabby that, like, and you know what?
Well, why wouldn't you be? You hadn't slept, and you have people that hadn't slept for quite literally 24 hours.
Absolutely, and I think that, first off, I got... Okay. Let me collect myself.
I feel like I'm going to have to go take a fresh air break for this.
Pissed off. I was really fucking pissed off at the people who were complaining to me as well about being up. Like, I get it. Everyone in this fucking tournament's been up for whatever long, and I understand there's people playing, and I understand there's teams waiting, but, like, it was a bad situation, and everyone had to deal with it, so, like, in the moment, just like, I understand you're frustrated, but everyone else is going through the same thing, and shut up. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, you have to understand, like, this tournament got thrown together, and it's 5:30 in the morning. I don't have a say whether it's 5:30 in the morning, and I was getting complaints from, like, everyone. I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, I'm trying to make this go. You have to understand that it's late as fuck for everyone, and I understand that, like, there's people up... Right, and I know that there's people up at, like, noon in some, like, parts of the world, etc. But to be realistic with you, like, that's a, you know, noon, if this goes back to playing 19s on US, noon for, I don't know, someone off in Australia, not even Australia land, but, like, in Europe. Noon for someone in Europe is really late. But let's also put it in perspective. 5 a.m. Central Time in U.S. is really late. So it's not like it's not like other people are not tired. Everyone was tired. It was not fun to be in that day 3 experience. But, so I want to say that I was really pissed off in the moment that people were bitching me about shit like that. But going forward, because everyone was so unhappy. If you can't understand how unhappy I am right now, I was pissed. And I think, right. Stream's not hearing you. I hear you, but Stream's not hearing you.
Check, check.
I don't know. I hear you. You sound great to me, man. So, I don't know. Did you move anywhere?
Moved a little bit, but it shouldn't have been an issue.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds better. They said it's better. So let's keep going.
All right, go ahead.
Well, you were going. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I don't know where they heard. And where
You were talking. You were talking about it was frustrating for everyone.
Okay.
And we were talking about moving
it's
forward.
frustrating for everyone. It's not like it was just the players that didn't get sleep. You had commentators and streamers not getting sleep either. And yes, it should absolutely be player first. However, they weren't the only ones that had to stay awake. The people streaming and everything were also having to stay awake to make sure other people could watch this, so that your games weren't, just for you. A lot of the appeal, I think, of this cup was that others could watch it, that anyone who wanted to pop in could see it. And for organizers and such, geez, it's not as big of a pain in the ass, but it's still a little bit of a pain in the ass.
Oh no, it was a pain in the ass. I'm just telling you right now. So in the moment, I was really getting frustrated with people, and I understand that people were pissed that it was late. Okay, this is the part that probably pissed me off the most. And I don't. It's not that I don't like these people, but everyone needed to be understanding that everyone is going through this at this late of a time. And eventually, we got into a call with JCM, and we were like, eventually, like, yes, we need to put a time limit in. Let's get this going. I know you guys are pissed, but we have to keep moving. And, I agree. Let's put in a time limit in between these games. Let's get these going. And once we were able to keep going, we got it line and line and line. But it's like, it was there was no set, now going forward. Let's just stop right there. Going forward, it's vitally important that we have, in my opinion, a 10-minute in between games maximum for teams to keep going, or the team that's not able to play after those 10 minutes takes a loss. Or the other team wins a game, to put it in perspective, or gets a point of the best of 3. Because it's not fair, because it's not only that series, but it's the series proceeding after that, and after that, and after that, etc. And if not, the single most setback in the entire tournament was the almost 2-hour discussion between Ping and GSC. And I understand that in the moment, that's one of those things where it's like, in the moment, it's really frustrating, and it was a decision that was pretty controversial, to be honest. But it needed to just be handled in 5 or 10 minutes at most. I don't know. I was able to come in at the very end of it and just give my opinion really quick. And it shortly got picked up, and we kept going after that. But I don't know what happened in the first hour and a half, but it just needed to be decided on and moved on. And it shouldn't have taken that long. And there were multiple setbacks though. But that, so one series affected another, and here we are sitting 5 in the morning at the finales.
There was a huge snowball effect, and I think it stemmed from the fact that rules had been broken since the arena tournament, but it seemed like there was no real punishment attributed to the rules being broken. And so if one team sees another team, and it's like, okay, they broke the rules, they're clearly written, and there isn't any significant implication for that violation, then it's, okay, well, let's see if we can do this. Let's see if we can do that. And that can relate to something as small as the use of a toy, or something as large as, well, we don't have the person we want. This person's getting DQ'd.
Mm-hmm.
And if you would have had, say, at the start, okay, this team, like you said, 10 minutes. Even if you don't want to go as significant as you lose a game, say you go down a cap, people will pay attention to that.
No, it's got to be a game.
Okay,
it's got to be serious.
That's fine.
It's got to be serious enough to the point where, like, people... That's just weird.
No, that's fine.
I
know.
know.
It's neither here nor there what it is. But let's say, let's say you go down a game. Teams are going to take notice. You think that a team isn't going to act differently if they realize being 11 minutes late is going to put them down a game as opposed to being on time and they can play on equal footing? You think that one person that needs to go do something for 5 minutes is going to go do it for 5 minutes? They're going to be right back there. They're going to be ready to go at the gate. Otherwise, they are screwing over their whole team. And then you can come to the point where, well, let's talk about the rosters in and of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And how before the Cup was started, it seemed like they were ironclad and non-flexible. Perhaps going forward to next year, try and think of a way to make them more flexible, or at the very least, have teams take their subs a little bit more seriously. Because if someone gets DC'd, that shouldn't be a reason that you can have 45 minutes for them to reestablish their internet connection.
And, you know, speaking off that very personally, our team in our last series that we played, our Warriors power went out. And I know I was like, oh my god. Well, he was in a really bad storm, and I'm like, his power went out. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, that sucks. Because we were going to bring out a different comp and shit that we were going to run, which is irrelevant at the point. But the other team they're really considerate. They're like, yeah, we'll wait as long as you want, like, to play the games, etc. I'm like, all right. I sat there for about 20 minutes. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to make everyone wait on me. Like, let's just go. Like, we have a lineup that we can play that's competitive. Like, let's go. Let's put it out there, like, and play the games. That's how it needs to be handled. But I think that going forward, it just needs to be something that's stated in the rules. And I think we've touched on this point enough, so being able to, like, just continuously go throughout the tournament at a steady pace, because it may be affecting your series and your team and the other team you're playing, but it's affecting everyone, how long you take and how efficient things are going.
It's the cumulative effect is huge, even from a 5-minute delay, because that's going to be 5 minutes for this, 5 minutes for that, 5 minutes for everything down the road. And I don't want to single out any teams on this, because it's not like any team... I'm going to assume that no team intentionally did this and they were legitimate things. But there also should have been legitimate repercussions for it, and those teams should have had legitimate options in case this happened.
Right. I mean, that's why you have a 13-man roster.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I literally was like, well, we have a 13-man roster. I made sure going into the tournament that we pretty much had people, if something happened where someone could jump in, I'm like, well, we have someone that can jump in and play. Like, let's go. Like, this is a joke. So, like, I realized it was a joke on my end. Like, we just need to play. Like, I'm not going to sit here and wait for, like, I'm not going to hold up the tournament for our Warriors power to come on. Like, when we have a competitive lineup we can put out there.
And look, think of the power outage, let's say, as your running back pulled a hammy. What, do you wait a year until that running back can get his surgery and he gets back in the game and you can play? No, you put in your second string player. And that's what you do. You don't hold up the entire season. You get on with the game and you go. And that, going forward, really should be something that is addressed, recognized, and I'm actually fairly confident will be dealt with. Yeah, right. Speaking of power outages, indeed.
I'm sorry. I don't know what that was. That was totally on my end, though.
All right,
I'm
it's
sorry.
fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so where the hell did we even end off at?
We were talking about second string running backs, and I was literally thinking about, I was actually coming up with an example, and then Skype is not working. And I'm like, oh my. But once again, one of the reasons why I'm actually not a huge favorite fan of Skype, but I guess, like, okay, so the time thing needs to be addressed. Now, something that I was talking to another team leader, and I'm not sure if they really want me to say my name or not, or their name or not, but one thing that was being brought up too is that also really probably limiting the number of teams to 8. And if there is for some reason going to be more than 8 teams, then there needs to be a way to filter people out. And I think going into this, that team leader had the similar opinion going into the tournament. And we had like 9 teams really. Oh, and that was dude, the fact that Party's Over backed out on, first off, like, that's kind of funny. Second off, I mean, the party's over, they don't even show up. So that was kind of funny.
This is what I found most funny about that, is that their backing out bought Gamers League an extra 2 hours, which basically gave them time to start putting the graphics together and still not know what's going on.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But going off of that made it really awkward for the rest of the tournament, because then there were like 9 teams. So there's an odd number of teams again. I think it's got to be 8. I think that, like, going off of this year, that's what this person suggested, and I agree. I think it's got to be 8. If there's more than that, there's just either if there's more than that, it's got to be handled way more professionally, like way better than it was this year. And I just think that there should be 8, and probably the last season of the NWL, I guess at this point we'll filter those teams out if there is more than 8. So, yeah, it kind of sucks on one end, but on the other end, I kind of feel like there won't be any more than 8 competitive teams, which kind of sucks because there might be a team or two that doesn't get to play, but 10 teams, man, is really, like, it's really rough. It's a weird number, and then if you went to the extent of, like, having, like, 12 or 16, then you're just talking about, like, a lot to cover on a weekend.
Well, let's finish what you were saying. I'm sorry.
So going off of that, I think that it would be beneficial to manage the number of teams and having a way to make sure that, unfortunately, this is going to sound kind of rude and kind of against the whole community, everyone get involved thing, but probably find a way to make sure that the top 8 teams are playing. Well, I think that's what the NWL would be there for if the 4th season's talking about seeding everyone into the Twink Cup, if that's what it is. But it's just like 10 teams is an awkward number, and then having a team drop out. Like, you got to have the serious teams that are going to commit there, they're going to be there. And I think that actually the NWL now is a great idea to really see, okay, you have to commit to a season to play in the Twink Cup. So you got to show some commitment, and you've got to have success. And I think that that's 2 great precursors to being able to fit into that 8.
And I, like Hamcake saying now in chat how he tweeted people didn't even know the tournament was happening. I have a buddy on that team, and he was pretty upset that the squad backed out. And it definitely was not his idea for that to happen. So while there are some people on that squad which they deserve whatever comments you want to give, not everyone on the squad does. And I'll let you guys figure out who or whom that may not be. But going back as far to the teams and such, there was an interesting thread that Neat posted as far as the way a double elimination tournament works. And it's something that I had never really thought about. Something while reading Neat's comments, I thought he might have just been angry, not really sure about it. But the more I read, and then I saw when Chops jumped in, I was like, oh, there might be something to this. And that's the fact that JCM lost the cup while only losing 1 series. And every other team had the opportunity to lose a series and get back in. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know well enough how tournaments are drawn up and all of that to say there is 100% a better way to do it. But just putting it in those terms, it seems like there should be, right?
I guess, yeah.
Like, does that, like, what if you guys, say, made it to the championship game? You went the winner's bracket.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I agree. No. I agree. Sorry, I was a little zoned out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. To me that makes a lot of sense, and I agree. Coming up to the Twink Cup, I didn't think about it that way, but now after that whole thread, I totally agree, and I think that it should be, maybe going into next year, it should probably be best of 3-2 series, because that makes a lot of sense to me. That, you know, they only lost one series, even though it was an elongated series, and they get the free win. But yeah, I think that maybe going next year, man, that's tough to say though too, because like, assuming that. I think for the sake of the team, it needs to be that way. But that does, for the sake of the integrity of both teams, the winner's bracket, the winning and losing team, that it needs to be best of 3 going next year. Two sets for the losers to win. Like the winners would have to lose 2 sets of the best of 3, and you know what I'm saying. So I think going into the future, that's a really good point that they brought up, and I didn't think about that at all initially. I didn't think about it that way. I don't know. I just didn't have my mindset the correct.
Yeah, I mean it's
on that path.
Nor did I.
Going off of that idea, it is more games though potentially. I mean, you're going from like.
Well, then that brings it to this point, and it's something that I saw a lot of people raise, in that let's move the actual finals to another day. And I mean, there are positives and negatives to that. The obvious negative is, well, we're going to have to do this for another day. But then the positive is, okay, we can sit down and put a very nice production out for what really is and should be the culmination of a pretty spectacular event.
Right. Yeah, I think going into the future, I think best of 3 would be smart. I don't know. Do you have any other, like, anything going forward, any other changes you'd like to see? I thought that, honestly, the interviews were really nice on Saturday, and I kind of liked having that, you know, sprung in, because it just, like, it made the downtime really interesting and got you involved in the community, and, like, you got to know the team leaders, if that makes sense. You feel me on that?
Yeah, I mean, I had a great time doing them. I'm pretty sure Rise did too. I think for next year, if we do it, you know, maybe not an hour beforehand, we can do a better job getting them set up. But that would be something, I think that would be a cool thing to splice in, and I know I'm down to do it. And I'm pretty sure Rise, if we're both still around, will jump back in there with me.
One thing that Muskie brought up too is webcams for casters and interviewers. I agree, but I'll be honest with you, that's something that you'd have to work on and get into, because I remember, like, I can tell you for a fact, when we were trying to get cams going for Gamers League, we actually were trying to get cams going for the stream for Gamers League pre-time, and I was having massive issues with my audio and my video syncing up, and I've never really had that issue before. But there's definitely some familiarity that has to be accounted for, and getting used to running with the camera.
Alright guys, I think Buns is having some connection issues. I don't know if one of you guys are seeing him or what, but... Alright, but to speak on that, yeah, Muskie, when we're at the 2,000 point, I probably shouldn't take over and just decide to talk about random shit. But I had fun doing it. And as far as going forward to next year, alright, Buns is coming back. And
holy
yes,
cow, I'm sorry,
irony,
guys. I'm having,
right?
like, massive issues with
I'm telling you, it's Gamers League getting back because they knew we weren't going to be fans.
Oh my gosh. No, this is actually really not good. Like, why don't we try to? Okay, let's start. What did you like about the Twink Cup, Yubi? What were some of the good points of the Twink Cup?
The games. The games themselves were amazing. I mean, just the different strategies that teams use, and it's something we touched on right before the cast started and such. But if we're talking about last year's Twink Cup, it was every team was basically cookie cutter. Every team did the same thing. Every team tried the same thing. Every team won or lost by basically doing the same thing, but one team did it a little bit better. You had teams this year that did some crazy things. You have Muskie, who's like, you know what, I'm going to let this team cap. That is the strategy of this game. And then I'm going for the quick cap. You have GSC, which, to my infinite joy, ran the double priest while Suda was trying to bring that in the whole time. It made it work for a little bit before then switching it up. We have U-Buns, who brings in Windwalker at the last second to switch it up. I mean, there are things that, so many different strategies, teams actually not just looking at what the meta quote-unquote is or should be, but making it to how their team and how the players on their team play, and enhancing those strengths, adapting to them, and figuring out how to take advantage of the other team's composition.
And I think that there were teams in this tournament that played the meta well, and they did just a great job running the standard comps and etc. And then I think there were also teams in this meta that had to extend beyond the meta to find success, and definitely I would consider my team one of those teams where we had to come up with some strategies to help accommodate to get ourselves in a competitive edge. I think we had to shake people off guard, etc. I think GSC was a team like that too, and I think GSC really made this tournament a lot of fun, and I want to give a huge shout out just to GSC in general and that guild, and I really hope that, I know a lot of those guys right now are considering going back to EU to play, and they came here for the tournament, and it sounds like there's a lack of interest, but I really hope that a lot of those players decide to stick around in US, because they made the community a lot more fun, and a lot of the Real ID games were a lot of fun, and personally Dan, Vanilla Milk had a huge impact on the community, so I hope they change their mind and stick around, but I know especially Dan's got a lot going on in real life, and everyone on that team had to commit to play from EU to US, so the overall commitment might not be there, but it was a lot of fun having all those guys over on US.
And that actually brings up another thing, too, where there was a lot more representation of the twinking community as a whole. I may be mistaken on this, but I feel like last year was much more US-centric. Whereas this year you saw people playing from a lot of different places of the world to come in and partake in this event, which I think added a lot of flavor to it.
It was a lot of fun, too. I mean, you just got to meet so many different people, so many different strategies. I appreciated a lot. There's a few things I really appreciated. I appreciated the fact that there were teams that came out there and ran the standard comp, and they just did a really solid job. And the two that come off the top of my head that are examples of that are SR and JCM. They just ran standard pretty much the entire tournament, stuck with their guts for the majority of the tournament, if not the entire, and they just played the meta so well that they had a lot of success, so I appreciate that. And then I also appreciate teams like GSC and Ping that came out there as some of the other teams that shook up the meta, shook up comps, tried to catch people off guard, because that was really entertaining, not only from a viewer standpoint, actually watching the games, but really it changed how the pace of the games went, so it was really interesting to see how that unfolded.
Like, we spent an unfortunately large amount of this cast talking about the negatives, but one thing I'm glad is that we at least offered some solutions or some possible ways to go about addressing these in the future. But at the very end of everything, did you guys have fun watching the games? Did you guys have fun playing in them? Do you think it was worth it? And from someone who just participated slightly in Saturday, kind of helped out with things as possible throughout, and watched what he could, I loved it, man. There's definitely problems. I'm pretty sure we addressed the important ones. But, I mean, what are your overall thoughts of it, Bones? Like, what is your ending takeaway of the Twink Cup?
I would have enjoyed it a lot more if my plate wasn't as full. My plate was very full. I probably had 3 plates worth of food in 1 plate. So
you were sitting at the table going like, Hercules, Hercules!
I think that one of the things for me personally was just like everything leading up to the Twink Cup. I think that was more fun than anything else. And I think if our team would have gone a little farther and we had a little more success, then yeah, maybe say that the Twink Cup, I mean, from a production standpoint, it was stressing because it just got thrown on us last minute and had to make it happen. I was worn down just from doing everything. But I enjoyed playing with people who I played with, and that's something that should be said. And it was a lot of fun coming in there with people that I actually wanted to be around and playing with, and our team was just full of people that got along, and I think that that's important too. So, well, I wish the tournament would have gone a little better, and we could have made a few different decisions, and, you know, maybe some of the shit that came up for Team Harvest in the tournament could have, you know, happened a few days later.
Yeah.
But, you know, I had a much better time than last year, that's for sure. And my team went farther last year.
Well, geez, if you had more fun this year, you definitely had way much more on your plate this year. I mean, that seems kind of like a bill of success.
I think it was successful, and I just wish people would listen to me. That's all, because it was not, because it's funny, because it's ironic, because people didn't take my words seriously, and then it's like the boy who cries wolf. That's not even a great example. But
no, it's a terrible
basically
example.
Like, yeah, it's not a good example. But basically, it was ironic that the plate got handed to me after I'd been preaching for it for 3 months, and I realized that I could do the best I could the day of, and I was gonna make that, you know, happen regardless. Well, it just was really draining, and I don't know. I still know I'm excited for next year. I'll say that. But I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next year. And people have been asking me a bunch of different things, like what I'm gonna do now afterwards, and I think I still need some time to think everything.
I think we both need a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So we'll think about that. Fuck, do we have a good bow for this? Should we just say the community somehow or other pulled this off? I mean, I don't know how you want to end it. I feel like you should, because you're the one that pulled this off, more or less.
I don't know. I got nothing, man. I'm Look, we're 2 days afterwards.
Oh, shit, the giveaways! Rise just mentioned that. We got so caught up in all this, we didn't do any of the giveaways.
Oh, yeah. Sorry,
Alright, we're going to do the first giveaway. It is, I guess, a random number. We'll see what Nightbot says. This is for the either Windwalker or Mistweaver set on Bleeding Hollow Alliance.
Da-da-da-da! Guess your lucky number, folks, and you will have yourself a best-in-slot Mistweaver or Windwalker on Alliance Bleeding Hollow.
And actually, for the 39, for the green lens, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do a Nightbot. This is going to be a Twitter thing. I want you to tweet me why you should get the green lens of your choice outside of stamina. Every other one is basically up for grabs, because I don't want it to go to someone that's not going to properly use it.
Fair enough, man. I think that's a deserving item like that. You gotta have, you know, the right candidate, someone that actually is worthy and wants it going into the 39 revival, which I know a lot of people are excited for on that Saturday.
Jesus, Nightbot does not like to award. Oh, geez, no one's actually given the answer yet. All right.
Haha.
Wait, actually, you guys are gonna hate this. Marb, you got the right answer. No, freaking, it didn't recognize it. So I guess you don't win.
I think Nightbot started over. All right, they're gonna try again. Anyways, juicy jams of the week. My juicy jam of the week came straight from the Twink Cup thread that Gankrix had put out, and a shout out to Gankrix because literally my song is his. It was "Memento" by Intervals. That song is awesome.
All right, my juicy jam of the week is going to be "The Meaning" by High and Mighty. And we're going to call this an end to the cast. We'll keep the stream open. Maybe you guys will get this number at some point. It's really not looking good. Should we do the socials or should we just end it?
Twitch.tv/FearTheBuns, at FearTheBuns on Twitter. You better make sure you pay attention to Yubi's Twitter if you're looking to get a hold of that headband.
Yeah, and for you guys that play 39s or interested in 39s, you know what those green lenses are like. Alright, I'm going to let you guys roll for a sec. Buns, I'll be right back.
Alright.
Oh, in Moran, there is a huge stockpile. Rise, if for some reason you would like to fill him in on the various options, go ahead. Rise is the one supplying, and I'm just giving them away.
Looks like Silwa won the giveaway here. So, nice. Congratulations, Silwa. You got the lucky number. We got Michael Jordan number, so congratulations. We'll have Yubi get in touch with you when he gets back, but you got yourself a free Mistweaver or Windwalker. How do you enter for the Green Lens giveaway? The Green Lens giveaway is you got to tweet at Yubi, which is at bisnation. So tweet at bisnation why you deserve the Green Lens of Stamina. Marv, you're gonna have to talk to Yubi on that one, man. I don't know. You're gonna have to talk to Yubi. You're gonna have to talk to Yubi. I'm not gonna handle that. That's his deal.
You know what I know for a fact is that no one here watches basketball because I put Jordan in there and no one put 23 in for about 10 minutes.
No love for MJ.
Yeah. I would have expected more, at least from the cozy, man. Come on. All right, so we actually ended up taking the winner. Is that Siloy?
Silwa, it looks like to be the winner, and Marv's claiming that he won earlier, but
he did, but for some reason Nightbot didn't take it. So Marv, I'm sorry, man.
Denied.
I'm sorry, man. Nightbot said you got your Shadow Fang, and it cost me $50, so you can't get the next one. So, you can pick that up. Let me know if you want a Mistweaver or Windwalker gear, and at Diddlemade, or I should say at Extreme Pally on Twitter. I don't know if Dids is still in chat now or not. He's the one that's actually providing it.
I fear the buns. Is there a formal process I should go to convince you or Yubi to give me a Bis Nation t-shirt? Unless you can convince the almighty god of Mr. Yubi himself, the shipping is not fun. And I don't pay for shipping, so...
Wait, we just had someone say MJ is Michael Jackson? No, Billy Pooh, I'm sorry. We have a disagreement, man. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. Oh, look, now we have Shade saying, "Ha, give me a t-shirt."
Yeah, dude, my Skype sucks, man. I can't. I hope Curse Voice does cameras soon.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know what happened. I was using the same setup that seemed to work great Saturday, and for
Oh well,
basically everything
Skype was
else.
totally on my end. I mean, I don't know what was going on with your mic. That I'm not sure, but Skype was totally on my end. My Skype is not working correctly.
Not having the video on Curse though really does. I mean, that's a
Yeah.
huge issue.
It's still in beta though, so it might be something that's coming along the line, but I don't know.
I would think
Hope they
so.
do.
Yeah. All right. What do you say? You think it's time to end stream?
Yeah, probably end it here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we had a little mishaps, but nothing too major for our 104th podcast, our 2-year. Nothing out of the ordinary. So
Yeah. We at least were able to get it off the ground. It's more than we can say for some professional organizations.
oh, dunked.
Got to state my
Dwight
feelings.
Howard, Superman dunked right there.
Oh, and Ganks, I don't know if you're still in here, but I may or may not be in the mood for some 39s. Yeah, I don't know if anyone else is feeling that, but get at me. All right, stream is done. Thank you guys for listening. Seloy, get a hold for your winnings, and tweet at bisnation for your chance at a green lens of your choice.